Line up, you fucking nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
The money line, we are live. It is UFC Vegas 50. I'm here with my man Mike Finch. How you doing, brother?
So good, man. Out here for Bellator 276. Welcome to my hotel room, guys. Jump right in. Make yourself cozy. We're going to talk about some fist fights.
Dude, I got to say, it's a pretty nice hotel room. You got 2 beds and everything. They hook you up over at Bellator, man.
Bro, we're ready for you. There's me. Come on out, my man. You want to see some live fights? Let's go. Let's go.
One day, bro. One day. I wish I could see the cage side fights, man. You're blessed with that viewpoint. But at the end of the day, for now, I'll be behind the camera doing the live streams every weekend, man. So that's a plug to myself, Fight Companion. You know it's going down for the UFC. And depending on when UFC finishes, I'm also going live for Bellator after. Usually, like, when I finish the UFC Fight Companion, the Bellator card is 3-4 fights left, so I'll jump right in on there. I'll make a second stream. So you guys make sure to tune into that. Smash the likes here. If you guys are new, subscribe. This is the Money Line. I am AJ. That is Mike Finch, and we have a very fun card in store, man. I think this fight night card might hit better than this pay-per-view fight past last weekend.
A lot of fights that are tough to pick. I feel like we say that all the time, but especially with this one, me and AJ were talking before we went on. We had to talk about a couple of them because I'm like, man, how do I even pick this one? You know, so a couple fun fights for sure. Looking forward to them. I think we got a rising star or two on this card as well. So definitely some things to keep your eyes out for. And like you said, man, they could tune into Bellator on Saturday as well. We got some badass fights. Phil Davis is back against Julius and Glickis. You got Adam Borks and Mads Burnell. I can't believe Adam Borks is the underdog in that fight. A lot of fun stuff coming up, man. So we got some serious fist fights this weekend, and we're just spoiled as usual.
As always, bro. As always. I mean, I did the full card breakdown for Bellator. Tomorrow there's Eagle FC, but I didn't do an Eagle FC breakdown.
Right, Diego Sanchez and Kevin Lee.
That'll be interesting, man. So
the
big stuff coming
of the century,
of the fucking millennium, bro. The mismatch of the millennium. Holy shit!
Holy shit!
It sells, bro. It sells. But let's talk UFC. It's UFC Vegas 50. We'll start it off. First one: Tafon Nchukwi versus Azamat Murzakanov. Mike, I want to get your take on this one first. Are you feeling the hype train, Azamat, who's coming in as a real prospect? Do you think the little bit of a vet at this point, Tafon, can shut him down?
It's a good fight. I like the hype, man. Look, he's got a good, a good bounce. He's got a good right hand. And if let's talk about Tafon first. If you start shying away from Tafon, if you start trying to weave underneath, he's actually really good at catching guys as they weave underneath, and he'll put you away. That's how he landed that crazy head kick KO he has. And if you look back at some of his old fights, that's actually how he's put a lot of people away as they weave under. If you put your head down there against Tafon, all of a sudden he just starts unloading. I think it's like almost a subconscious thing. He sees some weakness, So if you're a boxer, beware. Watch out for the weaves, man. Make sure you're just staying upright, using distance to deal with this guy. Don't be in the pocket moving your head around, because he'll catch you with a hook, an uppercut, a kick, and he puts people away. When he smells blood, Tafon can put people away. So, I think as far as Azamat goes, he's very, very good at bouncing in and out. He's not going to maybe weave like a boxer would. I certainly don't like Tafon fighting from bottom either. So if he can get on top of him, that would be a big deal. I also like how Azamat is a southpaw. And that will create some interesting problems when it's the southpaw orthodox. I like the bounce. I like his control of distance. I like his right hand. He comes in with great timing with the right hand. I'm a fan. He floats. He doesn't weave, like I said. So instead of going underneath the hook, he'll move back. And that's actually the proper response against Tafon. Literally just that technical detail gives me enough confidence to pick him. I'm going to go with Azamat, and I think he'll actually end up finding a TKO in this fight.
I like that pick, man. I feel like Azamat's striking is good. It's quick. He's light on his feet. I will say this, like, he's a thicker guy around the midsection and whatnot. I feel like he could be an 85 or something that I really feel like is a concern. Azamat has the tools, I think, to do really well against, especially these lower level light heavyweights and even some heavyweights. But when you start working your way up to the top, you're going to have elite level skills and you're going to have size advantages. Azamat's only 5'10. Nchukwi is not a big dude as far as height either. He's just thick as they come at 205. And I mean, he had that run at 85 where he lost to Park in the last one. I think Murzakanov might even surprise him with some takedowns here. I don't think we can sleep on the grappling, really. I think the speed difference in the hands is substantial. I really feel like vast advantages on the Murzakanov side. Nchukwi's a guy that I've always felt, I don't want to call him slow, but he's not a quick mover. He's not a quick-handed fighter. Strong as they come, will press you against the cage and can unload shots. I mean, he's dangerous. He has big knockouts in the past. If he touches that chin, he's doing damage. But I think Murzakanov can land 3 before Nchukwi can maybe even touch him with 1. I think Murzakanov puts on a solid performance here. I think he's somebody to keep an eye on. Biggest concern going forward would be the size differential in fights. But I like Murzakanov. I'm with you. The exact same pick. I'm thinking potentially 3rd round TKO could happen earlier, could go late, and maybe we get a full 3 rounds. But I think Murzakanov leads the way throughout. As far as the lines, it's actually not bad value on the Murzakanov side. Minus 170 for Azamat Murzakanov, Tafon Nchukwi plus 165. I like Murzakanov all day here, man. I would have a very hard time betting on Nchukwi at this point. I feel like he's just going to be another level behind, you know, against the speed, the movement, and just the high-level technique. I feel like Azamat's good, man. I like what I've seen. I'm very excited for him.
Yeah, the more film I watched, the more I was impressed. I think he's a much more technical striker, and his control of distance and his timing seems significantly better. Like you said, he is undersized for the weight class, but the good thing is, AJ, he carries power, you know, and if he can carry that power, you know, then he doesn't necessarily need the size unless, of course, we get grappling. Is this the fight where he's going to get out grappled? I don't think so. So that makes a lot of sense to pick him. And the odds aren't too crazy. So, yeah, something to consider taking a stab at.
Yeah, I'm definitely on him, bro. I like a money line, but you can get plus 185 if you like the knockout prop. So maybe if you're leaning that way, you sprinkle it. We tell you money line. This is the money line parlay edition with Azamat. I think he's just a great play overall. I'm on him. Mike's on him. I like when we both pick the same guy. That's like supreme confidence now for me because I've been hype on him all week. And now hearing that you are as well, jumping my confidence through the roof.
Yeah, brother. I definitely enjoy watching him compete. He keeps that nice bounce on his feet, and he's going to be hard to get to. So I like a fighter who is not just standing in there and exchanging, taking big shots. You know, I've always been a fan of that Lyoto Machida type style, and he carries just a flavor of that in the way he moves. Patient, but then also explodes at the right time. That's somebody who you can rely more on. That's more consistent than somebody who bites down on their mouthpiece and bangs it out. This is not a Tai Tuivasa or a Derek Lewis. This is somebody who's very smart in that cage.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. Very excited to see it, man. Also noted, Azamat knocked out Andre Muniz back in the day. Shout out to my man Andy Gonzalez, who comes through on the late night lives every week. He's the guy, the #1 Spanish breakdown guy right there, Andy Gonzalez. I got to give him his respect. But yeah, man, I like it, bro. Azamat, he's the guy. He's me and Mike's first pick. We both like him. Very exciting stuff. Super pumped for this card. Let's keep running out. And shout out to everybody watching live. Smash those likes, guys, and much love. Let's talk this next one. It's Kris Moutinho, Guido Cannetti. I don't want to use the word bum fight here, Mike. I don't want to say it, but it's not.
You just did.
I didn't use it. I said I don't want to use I don't want to use it. It's not top of the line MMA. If you saw this card on a Bellator prelim, I don't think you'd bat an eye. You wouldn't even realize it was there. But it's on the UFC prelims. I will note this. Moutinho is a dog that will scrap. He'll bring the pressure. He'll fight. He's got good hooks inside, and he moves pretty quickly. I'll be honest. When you start watching his fights where he's successful, he doesn't look bad. Granted, competition level is not necessarily A1 when he's getting these wins on the lower level regional scene and looking good. But he was like, I feel like when he was outside of the UFC, he was like the poor man Sean O'Malley. Like he does the hair thing, and then he fights Sean O'Malley and he gets beat up, but he still totally threw down up until the end. But he was just obviously totally outmatched. Guido Cannetti is 42 years of age, man. He's not a young man in this bantamweight division. I would say he's extremely old for the weight class. Something to note, both guys southpaws. You got Cannetti on one side. I do think, I mean, in his prime, he was pretty slick. He has that lead hand low. He actually has pretty nice low kicks, and I do like his speed in the past. Now, as age has caught up to him, I see him struggling with Moutinho's pressure. I think he's going to get caught by punches. I could see Moutinho getting a stoppage here, but I'm definitely on the Moutinho side. Decision or knockout? What are you thinking, Mike?
Woo, that's tough. Moutinho is going to really, really want a knockout or a submission. You know, Moutinho is put in this position with Guido Cannetti to get an impressive performance to show that he belongs in the UFC. You know, I think that the matchmakers were impressed with his heart and his toughness in the boxing lesson that he got from Sugar Sean O'Malley. Now, what they want to see is a development of skills. He needs to show that he has more in the toolbox than that, and that his skills are going this way, right? And this is the type of fight where, you know, if you're the coach of Kris, you are going to say, dude, you need to knock this guy out. By the time it gets to the third round here, let's put this guy away. It's not, hey, let's win the split decision here. That is not the type of fight. The UFC is not going to want to see that shit. You know, this is a fight, as you called it, or mentioned someone potentially calling it a bum fight. And I'm sure you're not meaning to hate on these guys, but
no.
The idea is that this is not the level that you would normally expect from the UFC. So why would they make a matchup like this? Why would they bring in guys who are like 9-6 roughly? I think it's because they like Kris, and they want to see the colorful hair and the personality and the toughness and all of that also be coupled with some good wins, get some confidence, and also get some, of course, technical development. So that's why this fight is being made. I think this is supposed to be a showcase fight for Kris. I think he finishes Cannetti late. It could be a TKO. It could also go all 3 rounds and just a dominant decision. I would be pretty surprised to see Guido Cannetti do anything in this fight. And here's the number one reason. Guido Cannetti backs up and does not have real good timing, real good counters to keep you off of him. And if you look at Moutinho likes to keep his chin tucked, move forward. That's his style. So pretty bad matchup for Cannetti. You look at everything else considered. This might even be worth taking a stab at on a bet. I like Kris Moutinho. I'll go with a 3rd round stoppage.
I like the 3rd round knockout pick, actually. I think that's definitely possible. Moutinho minus 144 best value, Cannetti plus 135. I think we're potentially ending in the distance. So if you're like, listen, I like Moutinho by knockout, he is plus 315. What do you think? You know what? It's ugly value. Over 1.5 is ugly. Fight ends inside the distance, minus 110, but it would be a little bit of a risky play. I would rather just bet Moutinho money line than anything else. That's all I like in this one. I don't want to touch the props. I don't want to take a risk. If you're looking to play this one, I think you're money lining Kris Moutinho. I think he's going to beat old man Cannetti here, man. We'll give him a cane on the walkout, unfortunately.
Damn, bro. I'm calling him Cannetti after this one. AJ versus Cannetti. It's going down.
It's going down.
Bum fights.
Bum fights. At the end of the day, man. Good luck to him. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see if he doesn't take me out, then we got a real fucking problem. That's like
Awesome. Yeah. Hey, we got a lot of respect for these guys. It's not hate. Absolutely. We're just having some fun.
Yeah, we love these guys, man. He's
punching bags. Damn, guys. Damn. Keep the hits coming.
Damn, they're attacking harder than I am, man. Yeah, the pressure.
Against pressure, guys, he lost all day. Andy, you heard my breakdown, brother. We letting them know. We're letting them know.
Yeah, bro. It's gonna be. I think Moutinho dominantly should be a pretty damn good fight, man. I like the fucking comments here. I like this one a lot. You won't be able to spell Cannetti, man. I mean, at the end of the day, we'll see what happens, bro. We'll see what happens. But yeah, me and Mike both feeling the Kris Moutinho side. There's really no value in attacking the dog here. He's 42 years old. Kris Moutinho can scrap. Give me Moutinho, potentially knockout. Mike's on the 3rd round knockout side. I like that Mystic Mac pick. And let's keep running up the card. We got good action coming, and smash those likes for those who are watching. Next fight is Dalcha Lungiambula versus Cody Brundage. This is such an interesting matchup, man, because it's really, can the wrestler get control of a strong judo guy who's really explosive and hits with a lot of power, but isn't super technical by any means? He's not. Lungiambula uses that explosiveness and power. I don't know why. I think he's older than he is. He's only 34. For some reason, I'm thinking he's 46 or something like that. But Brundage is a young prospect. The Maximov fight isn't looking as bad after he beat Punale Soriano. I'll tell you that. I think that Cody Brundage is okay. Against Lambagula, does he win? I'll say yes. Are you saying yes too, Mike? Because it's one of those true toss-up matchups. He's a dog too by a slight margin as well.
Yeah, look, Dalcha Lungiambula, he is definitely more explosive. He's definitely going to be more dangerous in the first round. And he is the type of guy who will slow down over the course of the fight, though. And you don't see that so much from Brundage. And what I liked from Cody is what he said in an interview is, I'm gonna, essentially get through the first. I wrote the quote down here. I'll just read it to you. I'm just going to wear on him. My chances for finishing the fight go up drastically as the fight goes on and as his explosion goes down. If I follow this game plan, it's an easy victory. I think he's going to come out, he's going to throw really hard, and he's going to do what he does. But after 4 minutes, this fight gets a lot easier. I see myself finishing him in the second or third. I could not break it down better for anybody than Cody just did for you guys. So that I agree with him 100%. I think he's totally reasonable in his assessment. I like where his head's at. And literally just based off of him understanding the best game plan possible, I'm going to go ahead and pick him. I'll say he does it via decision, but he's saying he's going to look for a second or third round stoppage. And, power to him. If that's his goal, he definitely could go out there and do that. The most dangerous thing for him is definitely going to be the explosive power, the big takedowns, the big shots, and if he can get him in the deep waters there, that's where he's going to shine. He'll use his wrestling. He is the better wrestler of the two. I'm liking Cody.
Yeah, I'm on Cody all day, man. I really feel like you're going to see him do his thing out there. I think that it's just, can he weather the storm? I'm going to say yes. I believe you will. Then second, third round, you know what? If he gets a tired Lungiambula on the floor, maybe takes his back, we might be seeing Cody Brundage choking him out. That's a real far-fetched type play, but I do want to bring up the submission prop for the Brundage side, plus 650, knockout prop plus 700. If Brundage even wins inside the distance, plus 375. So they're expecting a decision out of him. He's plus 113 best value, realistically more like plus 110 if you're over at Bet Online. I like Brundage for the win. Plus 110 range is not a bad play. I think we're going longer here, so I'm looking at over 1.5 as a maybe touch, minus 190 over 1.5, depending where you're at. If you can parlay that up with something, that could be a potential little casher for you guys. But I like Brundage. We're both on Brundage, man.
Brundage. Yeah, I agree. Look, he runs a risk. He runs risk of getting clipped. And, it's not going to be that easy, especially against a fresh Dalcha to out-wrestle him. The guy's had big takedowns, big slams himself, very, very physically powerful. And, he could be a better striker. So if Dalcha can show us anything in this fight, it would be patience, trying to do sort of what like a Francis Ngannou 2.0 has been doing, being patient and then using your explosive ability. If he maybe gets Cody a little bit hurt and blows the whole tank out in the first round and doesn't finish him, that's like worst case scenario, because just like you said, he could end up getting that finish. And then, those odds for the finish were really crazy. So I think it's more likely than what you were just reading me, that Cody gets a knockout or a submission late. So it's something to consider. You guys know me. I'm going Moneyline. I'm going Cody.
Cody Moneyline, that's the way. He's plus money. Give me Cody Brundage. I feel like I always say his name is Brundage. It's just a habit I've had since I've seen him fight, man. Even on the Contender Series days, man. I added a little tongue roll to it. Cody Brundage, man.
No. Respect the name, AJ.
Cody, you right. Say it for me, Mike.
Brundage.
I have an easier time with Lungiambula than I do with Brundage.
Oh, yeah. You noticed me dodge that name a couple times.
It's all good. Dalcha. Listen, no worries there. Let's keep running up. We're both on the Brundage side. Underdog attack with that one. This next one, Sabina Mazo and Miranda Maverick.
Hey.
Maverick's trying to bounce back, man. The losses, I don't think she lost to Macy Barber. I thought that was a bad decision. I thought she won that fight clearly, but whatever. It counts as a loss, unfortunately. Then you look at the last fight. Erin Blanchfield put her down and beat her up. Out wrestled the hell out of her, which I thought of Maverick as a real strong wrestler. Then that fight, I'm like, okay, some girls are going to take advantage. There's going to be girls that are better. Is Sabina Mazo better than Miranda Maverick on the floor? I'm going to lean towards the no side, but the odds that we're looking at to me are insane. It's like Maverick is on a 3-fight win streak or something like that. She's on a 2-fight losing streak. She's minus 310 to plus 280 against Mazo. I think it's probably because Mazo dropped that fight with Agapova. So she's such a big underdog. But I mean, you look at Agapova, she was a favorite coming into that fight with Moraes, who ended up, putting a beating on her using the grappling. But Sabina Mazo stand-up's not bad. I mean, she can strike, she can box, she's rangy. You got a reach advantage here. She's got a 70-inch reach. She's a long girl. Miranda Maverick's stand-up game is developing. She's an athletic girl. She's real strong, scrappy. She puts good pressure on her opponents. I mean, the wrestling chops, I guess, are not as there as much. I held her in a little higher regard with the wrestling, which I think that the Blanchfield fight has shut down my confidence on Maverick by at least 70%. I really thought Maverick was a different beast than it turned out to be. Do I like to pick the dog Mazo here? That's tricky, man. What do you like in this one, Mike? What do you think?
I've had the pleasure of sparring Sabina Mazo, and I've had the pleasure of watching her train quite a bit. And I will tell you, just based on your assessment there, she can kickbox, man. This girl can land a head kick that comes out of nowhere, another realm. It comes out of another dimension, man. She's got very, very loose, open hips, and she's been training with Rafael Cordeiro. And Rafael Cordeiro, as you know, I mean, you guys have seen Giga Chikadze fight. You've seen his fighters. They can knock people out. And that's the type of work that Sabina's been getting in. She trains with a lot of the guys at Kings too. So she's, getting just a lot of really, really quality work in on her striking and her jiu-jitsu. The wrestling would be one area where I would be concerned in this fight. I think if Maverick actually puts on the wrestling singlet, goes out there, just plays around with the hands a little bit, stays pretty defensive on the feet, gets those takedowns, keeps trying to change levels and grapple. It's probably the best method for her to get to a victory in this fight. Guys, I'm thinking Sabina, the underdog, is going to look good. I'm thinking Sabina Mazo is going to try to keep this thing at a distance and use her legs to win the fight. When I was sparring with Sabina, she's pretty hard to get to. She's very tall, very long, controls range pretty well, and it's pretty hard to put a lot together on her. So I think Sabina Mazo. And I'm going to go ahead and just say a decision. I think the underdog is going to come through in this one, and that Sabina will use her kickboxing and defensive wrestling to win this fight.
Okay. Hey, I respect the pick, man. I was torn between this one. I will say I am leaning the Maverick side, but earlier in the week when I'm, originally doing the film study and whatnot, I was seeing possibility for a Mazo upset. So I like that you picked that because I think there's going to be some people betting the dog there. I mean, it's pretty decent value. You look at the fight, Mazo is a plus 280 underdog. Maverick is a minus 310 favorite. I think those odds are crazy in my opinion. I don't believe they should be that damn wide. I think it's more minus even 200. Give me that. But I think I'm going to go the Maverick side. I think the wrestling could be the difference maker. She wins a hard-fought decision. I don't think that it's an easy matchup. I think Mazo will definitely have her moments, but I'm worried about the grappling a bit with Mazo, but the stand-up favors Mazo. If it's kickboxing, I'm picking Mazo. MMA, I got to go the Maverick side.
Alex McDonald, absolutely, brother, absolutely biased. If I train with people, I am not going to go back to the gym and be like picking against them. So I always tell you guys that if I train with people, I will let you guys know first before I pick their fights. I always let you guys know that. With that being said, I mean, I also have seen them more than you guys. So the last comment up there saying Sabina has no ground game. Factually false. There it is. There it is. Dev the dude. How dare you, Dev the dude? I've been in jiu-jitsu practice with Sabina. I can tell you Sabina does have a ground game. What Miranda Maverick has is maybe a more physical ground game. Is Miranda Maverick stronger? Is she going to be fighting from the top position? These things will be very, very important when we're talking about the grappling between the two. But does Sabina have the ability to slap on a triangle? I've seen her do it in the gym, So, Sabina Mazo definitely do not. Thank you, Alex. I keep it real with you guys. Come on. I definitely do think that this is a competitive fight, guys. Don't bet your house on this one. I'm just telling you, and I'm trying to be unbiased with this statement. Those odds are too wide.
I am with you 100%. I've never trained with Sabina Mazo. I have a non-biased opinion. I think that this is a close fight, and I think Maverick could edge her out by a decision, but if Mazo wins, I'm not going to be jumping up and down with anger because I'm not throwing any money near Miranda Maverick for the next several years, man. We'll see if she gets some wins going, and we'll see what happens in the future, but not this fight, man. No way, bro. No way. I'm going with Maverick decision. You're on the Mazo side, which I do like. Now, I think fight goes distance is pretty realistic here. If you look at fight goes distance, though, the value is terrible. It's minus 225. So you're really not getting anything great. I personally am just going to avoid the line altogether. Minus 115 Maverick decision. But why risk it? If you want to play the dog, it's a dog or pass fight. I really think betting side. I think I'm going to sit out on the Miranda Maverick train and just enjoy the action between these two ladies, man.
Two talented girls. I think these two girls will definitely be around for a long time. I think you'll see them both challenge for a title at some point. They're both, they have a lot of potential in the UFC. These are the two of the more talented fighters. Don't write them off because of a couple of close losses that they've suffered, especially with Sabina, with these razor decisions that I think she won as well. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for this fight. And it's definitely a close fight. It is not, I think for instance, some of the earlier fights that we mentioned are more mismatches than this is. This is going to be a fun fight. These girls are going to come to scrap. Very interested to see how this thing plays out.
I like it, bro. I'm going Maverick. Mike is going Mazo. Let's keep running up. We got more action. This next one is going to be Damon Jackson versus Kamuela Kirk. I'm very excited to see these two go after it. Not an easy fight for either. Damon Jackson, pretty decent on the floor and can definitely mix it up with the hands. Has been knocked out a couple of times, but against dangerous guys. On the opposite side, Kamuela Kirk, took that short notice fight against Makwan Amirkhani, and I guess I'll say he put on a show. He was able to beat a guy that I wasn't expecting him to out-grapple, nearly submit. He looked pretty good in that fight against a dangerous grappler in Makwan Amirkhani. Jackson, I like the high guard style, and I like that he starts fast. One weird thing that he does is like this awkward head duck. I don't know if you've noticed that, Mike. He has this, what would you call that? Like, I don't even know how to describe that. It's like a head duck, right?
Yeah, he's kind of weaving, right? He's kind of weaving as he throws the shot.
Yeah. It's like a little early weave, I almost call it. Like, I feel like sometimes it almost telegraphs what's coming next. Like, when he weaves, he's trying to get inside and maybe rip some hooks, maybe shoot a takedown. I think Kirk is better with the stand-up as far as technical abilities go. On the ground, I think it's competitive. I gotta slightly lean the Kirk side. I think he could touch up Jackson on the feet. I was kind of thinking there's a chance Kirk touches him up and puts him down striking, because I like that Kirk seems to attack the body, and Ilya Topuria brutally knocked out Jackson. It was because he opened strikes up to the body. I feel like best bet to beating Jackson here. He's a long guy. He's got a long torso. I think Kirk's got to shoot low, rip some body shots, maybe finds the chin. Not an easy fight. Close matchup. Give me the Kirk side. Which side do you like, Mike?
I think I'm going to go against you on this one, but yeah, it's definitely a tough one, man. I like Kirk for sure. He's got a good little win streak going here, LFA, and then, of course, got that win in his last fight against Amirkhani. As far as Damon goes, he has really solid takedowns from the clinch. I think that could come into play here when he locks up with you and he gets on top. Really solid mat work. Even when he was bleeding everywhere like he was against Charles Rosa, he was able to stay pretty calm, collected, and started to get to dominant positions. Like, Charles Rosa had him in a crucifix, whereas it's like you're like Jesus on the cross, right? What did he do? He rolled over the top, got on top. Like, he could still fight even when the fight gets tough. I like to see that. I like his overhand right. He won the LFA title with. Yes, even if he's like losing the striking and it's not going too well, bam, he could put you out with the right hand. I'm going to lean Damon Jackson. Very tough fight to pick, guys. One that I personally won't be betting on.
Yeah, personally, I would rather chill on this one. I'm liking the Kirk side, not like let me throw the house at him. To me, it's more of it's a no bet because he's not really a big enough dog. Right now, he's sitting at plus 100. Jackson, minus 105. This is pick'ems. This is even Stevens money. I think there's a chance we get a finish, but I also think it could go long. I think if you're betting this fight, you're flipping a coin here, man. It could cash on either side. Jackson might go out there and win a hard-fought decision. Same can be said for Kirk. Somebody might get finished. Either way, I am expecting these two to go after it, and I think we'll learn a lot more about their games with this fight. Neither guy is super experienced in the UFC. I really want to see a lot more from each of them before I'm considering throwing money down on either. I like the Kirk side. You like the Jackson side, understandably so. Yeah, it's a 50-50. It's a true, like, I see why the odds are this close, because you can look up all fighters, take all your notes, whatever. And when you match them up, you look at this fight, it's like, shit, this is competitive. Both guys have decent skill sets everywhere. Well-rounded dudes and tough on both sides.
Yes, 100%. Like I was saying with Damon's toughness. Yeah, I could definitely see pathways for both of them to win, you know. So one of those close fights on this card. It was one of those where I was telling you guys before we went in, I'm like, who am I gonna pick here? This is one of those. You won't see my wallet coming out of my pocket for.
No, keep the money in the pocket, save it for the fights you feel that supreme confidence on. But I still think this could be a sleeper fight of the night. This might be the best scrap throughout the whole card. Like, this is going to be damn good when you put two guys trying to make their mark in the UFC. I love it. I'll go Kirk. Mike is on Jackson. Super competitive. Personal side is the no bet side on this one for Mike and I both. This next one is going to be so interesting, man, because I really want to see where you're on. It's Trevin Jones versus Basharat, Javid Basharat. Hot prospect coming in. I mean, he's looking like maybe he's got the juice. Dangerous stand-up, good ground game. Trevin Jones upset Timur Valiev, loses to Sadyul Karamanov in the last one. I mean, granted, I guess the Valiev fight got overturned to a no contest, unfortunately. But he had him out. He did knock him out when they fought in the cage. So I do hold that in high regard. It's a damn good fight and close one in the bantamweight division. Mike, do you feel like Javid Basharat is that prospect? And is he got the juice to take down an experienced guy like Trevin Jones?
That'll be tough, actually. The tougher part will be him taking down Trevin Jones. I'm actually thinking that at some point here, if he smacks Jones with a couple shots, Jones looks to clinch, Jones looks to shoot, and that's the biggest problem I see here because, Basharat has a nasty guillotine. Nasty guillotine.
I think Jones just got guillotined.
Jones have trouble with the guillotine before. So the way they match up with that technique, I'm seeing a guy who's looking a little vulnerable for a guillotine choke. I'm seeing a guy who's great with the guillotine choke. Literally, my pick is very specific. It's that Trevin Jones makes a mistake, ends up shooting in because he feels that he has to. When he shoots in, he gets the neck wrapped up like a Christmas present. I am going with Basharat, submission, guillotine.
Oh, shit, almost knocked the mic over with that one, man.
You're excited with that one.
I'm excited, bro. Almost hit it. Let me tell you this. So the side that I'm kind of feeling here is the opposite side, really. I'm thinking another Mystic Mac style call, though, man. We're both really shooting heavy for these, like, precise snipes, right? I think that Javid's chin is a bit high when he strikes. And I feel like when that chin is up, as he closes distance on Jones, I do think Jones has some sneaky overhands, and he's a pretty explosive dude that hits hard. I could see him catching Basharat and actually doing a lot of damage and hurting him. Definitely can see the argument for the submission side. I'm also seeing Jones potentially heavy-handed enough to potentially put him down. Basharat, it's like he looks really good. From what we've seen, he's looking really good. He's never lost a fight. There's really not many negatives we can look at for him. And I mean, he's beaten okay competition. It's not like he's 13-0 fighting guys that are 0-17, whatever. Like, he's fought decent dudes. Last dude that he fought was 16-0. Fight before that, the guy I think was 11-2. Don't quote me on it. Something along those lines. All I know is he's fought guys with decent records and he's put on quality performances beating them. Trevin Jones is a step up for me. I think Trevin Jones is a pretty decent guy in the bantamweight division. Like, I think he's that ultimate test for these Contender Series guys coming out. Let's see if you can get past Trevin Jones. I mean, beating Timur Valiev and then it getting overturned, like, I think that took a serious stake in his stock because it's not on his record as a win anymore. No one remembers that, right? And especially when fights get overturned to no contest, you're going to have a hard time finding out who really won if you just look at Tapology, because they're not going to say original winner Trevin Jones. It's just right. The fight was over. You got no idea. Everybody's forgotten. He slept Valiev in a fight he was losing. So he carries that power. Even if he's down, he has it. That's what I'm kind of banking on here in the Basharat fight, which is that a good thing to bank on? Not necessarily. Basharat is well-rounded. I think Jones has an athleticism and power advantage. I think Basharat has a technical striking advantage, but I don't like the chin up a little bit. When those guys have that chin just a little high, I'm like, you get in there at the highest level, you get in close, a guy like Trevin Jones might put you down. So I'm a little concerned about Basharat getting knocked out. I'll go the Jones side, but it's not a supreme, let's nail the line with everything we got type of dog play. I think Basharat has good skills and could definitely win this bout as well, but I'll go Jones.
Really good take, AJ. Yes, I think you made the perfect case there for Jones. If you remember the Karkmanov fight, Karkmanov jumped that guillotine early. Jones got out. Jones kept, he does well with these fights. He's winning these fights, but then, of course, he jumped it again or did it against the fence, I believe, was able to end up getting that guillotine. So I could see Jones winning this fight. And even if Jones is losing, you made the point, he could still finish the fight. He's got power and he carries it. So, yeah, very, very interesting matchup between these two. I'm going to stick to my guns, man. We disagree on one. I'm going Basharat sub.
I like it. I like it, man. I see opportunities for the dog here, so I'm jumping on him. There's potential. Definitely could go the favorite way of Basharat. We'll see. Let's see if he keeps his undefeated record, man. As far as the odds on this one, Basharat is not a huge favorite. He's minus 140. Jones plus 130. I don't mind that, but do I want to throw much down at an unproven Basharat if you're on his side, or a guy in Jones who's proven to be decent, tough, but he can be beaten. He's been tapped. He's been finished. Tough. I'll tell you this.
Do you want chin up Basharat or do you want neck out Jones?
That's really what you're doing.
Who we going with, bro?
Who we going with? It's tricky. If I'm betting it, I'm be honest, I'm sitting out. But if I am throwing down on this one and I want to prop it up, I want to note two of the props. Basharat wins via submission prop is sitting at plus 375. Jones wins by KO prop is plus 450. So both hard sides of the argument, opposite sides of the spectrum. But I think both results are 100% possible. I think, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to call this, I think one of these results happens. I think one of these results happen as far as it's either Basharat gets the submission or I think Jones gets the knockout. If it goes the full 3, I'd be a little bit surprised.
Huh, okay. It could go the full 3. I don't know. I like that take. You really thought about this fight, bro. That was a good breakdown. And you made me go from like kind of wanting to take a little stab at Basharat to, you got me questioning myself a little bit. So thank you, AJ. That type of content is what we're here for, man.
Exactly. I'm telling you, I've been thinking about this fight all week long. It's certain matchups. I take it to another level, man. And I think this is one of them. Both guys are really good. I like the tools. I got fucking good amounts of notes on both of the guys, man. I wrote with Basharat, what I saw that I really liked is the smooth style of striking. He's smooth kickboxer, I would call him. Not ready to call him crispy just yet, but we'll see what the future holds for him, But like I felt like even on the ground, he showed good top pressure and persistent ground and pound. I like guys that work from the top that don't just hold position. Basharat is that guy. But I just feel like Jones is such an athletic specimen. He's really explosive and hits hard. I think Basharat's chin might get him knocked out. But damn, I could definitely see Basharat winning. Very tough matchup. Great fight. We're going to have torn picks throughout, man. I think people are on both sides of the argument here. And we'll see what goes down when the fight happens. Should be a damn good one. Let's keep running up the card. This next one is JJ Aldrich versus Gillian Robertson. I think this is like another really close one. This is a tricky pick. Both girls I would consider primary grapplers. I don't know if you disagree with that, Mike. I feel like majority of their game is more based around grappling, especially the Robertson side. Yeah. I think Aldrich stand-up is superior to Robertson.
Pressure.
It's when it gets to the floor, though. Who has the better pure grappling when it touches the mat? That's something I've been sitting on, man. Well, what do you think on this one, Mike?
For sure, I think who has the pure better grappling is Robertson. However, I think the takedowns of Aldrich are very, very good. And it actually works perfectly because of the southpaw orthodox problem here. So Gillian is orthodox, right? And Aldrich is southpaw. So that lead leg hook she does, let me explain this to people. When you shoot in for a takedown, a lot of people are only using their lats to pull and they're using their body to drive forward. Right? It's like standing in front of a train or a bus. The thing is just going to run you over, right? You are moving yourself. I'm not folding the person over. I'm running them over. So what Aldrich does differently is she'll actually take her lead leg and she'll wrap it behind. So as she's shooting the takedown, she also takes her leg and wraps the lead leg. So she's knocking you over and keeping you in the position where you're at. It actually works out perfectly because Robertson and her are the mismatched southpaw orthodox, and that's the number one takedown I see Aldrich go for? Will that takedown be available? I mean, if Robertson trained for it a lot, maybe she's ready to whiz her hard, which I think would be the best counter to that takedown. For those of you who don't know what a whizzer is, you get an overhook, you turn your hips in, you end up next to the person. That's how you defend that type of takedown. I've seen a lot of girls Aldrich has fought. They clearly don't use that, and they are getting taken down by her. So who has the better MMA takedown game? Honestly, Aldrich's pressure with that specific double leg that she uses, which I like a lot, that might work, man. That could earn her a decision. If all she needs to do is keep the car and drive and score a couple takedowns. You only fight for 15 minutes. You know, they don't have that long on the mat. You know, if this was a fight to the death, you could see Robertson really use all her mat work, but she's only got short time to work. But to answer your question, to back up, I really think Robertson's jiu-jitsu game is better. I think Robertson is a more well-rounded grappler. And that's probably why I'm picking Robertson in this fight. You know, I think also Gillian is a little faster on the feet. She's more athletic. And so I think that will come into play as well. Although Aldrich does a great job pressing, I think Robertson might be a little bit ahead of her with that speed. I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to go ahead and say Robertson takes the decision.
I like that, man. I think that's a pretty realistic take. I'm going to look at the odds for it, and I'll tell you some thoughts here. Okay, so the odds are real close. Plus 119 Aldrich, best value, minus 118 Robertson. You're looking around minus 120 to plus 110. That's essentially what you're looking at here around every bookie around the world. When I look at this fight, I think of it like this. Aldrich striking has, I think, better boxing. She's quicker. I think she's the more quick fighter just in general. I mean, especially standing up, right? Your footwork is better. Her hands move faster. I've never really been a big fan of Robertson's striking game, but when she gets fight to the mat, she's good, man.
Yeah.
She's nasty on the floor. Jiu-jitsu skill set, I believe black belt in jiu-jitsu, which, you know, I mean, the belt is kind of regardless, but she has very good MMA jiu-jitsu. It translates well. Aldrich will take her down. I really believe that. I think we're going to see takedowns for Aldrich. The thing is, Robertson isn't a girl that is really afraid of being taken down. She kind of thrives off being put on her back, taken down. And then from there, it's like, okay, maybe she can sweep some type of different transitions to get herself on top. If she lays on the ground and has Aldrich laying and praying on her, she's going to end up losing a decision. But I think that Robertson can edge it out by a bit, but like I would hate to bet money on this fight because I really could see Aldrich pulling it off, but I also could see Robertson winning. So I'm gonna go the Robertson side. I don't know if I just said Aldrich. Did I say Aldrich?
I was wondering. Okay, wait. Let me make sure I hear you clearly. You think Aldrich is faster and a better striker?
A little bit better striker.
You think she's faster?
By a smidge striking.
She's looking a little slow to me, brother. She's looking a little slow.
Maybe what was the last matchup? What was the last fight? Now I got to pull up the
now we're pulling it up. We're pulling up the tape. We got a disagreement. Who is faster? Pull out the punch machine. Let's get the stats.
Let's see it. All right. Demopoulos in the last fight. Aldrich fought. And I mean, Demopoulos is small. Standing up, she didn't look fantastic. I think she's got quicker stand up than Robertson, man. I think she's at least quicker with her hands. I'm going to pick it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to jump on the side of it. I'm picking a hard side here. I'm saying she's quicker on the feet. Does that mean she's going to win the fight, though? If they fought in kickboxing, I wouldn't want to watch it. I'll be honest with you. But I pick Aldrich. I'll pick Aldrich for the win, though. I think Aldrich wins this. Aldrich, what the fuck am I saying? I think Aldrich wins a kickboxing fight. In MMA, I'm going Robertson. But damn, I don't know. I'll be honest. This is one of those fights. Flip a coin. I'm going to sit out on the bet. I'm just going to hopefully enjoy it. I hope these girls go after it. If it turns out to be a striking match, Aldrich, I think, beats her. If Aldrich can land takedowns, then Robertson can find ways up. If Robertson can land some takedowns of her own, I think Robertson can get it done. Do you know Robertson's takedown defense rate in the UFC, though, Mike?
I don't.
It's 16%, bro. Some of the worst takedown defense rate in fucking MMA history, bro. I'm not even lying to you, bro. I got UFC stats up. It might be 17, but let me pull it up to tell you exactly what it is. I'm telling you, bro. I was shocked because I was like, I think of Robertson as a grappler, a girl that's really good on the mat. But, dude, she gets taken down all the time. 16% takedown defense rate, bro. But she also averages 2.56 takedowns per 15 minutes. On the opposite side, Aldrich is not even averaging one takedown for the full 15. So it's such a weird fight. Robertson's got the worst takedown defense, but offensively, she's landing takedowns. And then on the opposite side, Aldrich stops takedowns well, but isn't landing a ton. Weird fight, dude. I'm telling you, this is a fight that's going to have a weird result. That's what I'm feeling like, man.
Huh.
I'm going Robertson with you. I'm not jumping against you here, but I don't like the bet. Maybe you go over 2.5, minus 130. That might be the only bet worth touching on this one.
Let's talk about what we agreed on. What we do agree on is that on the mat, Robertson is the better grappler. On the mat, right?
Yes.
So now we're talking about the striking and the wrestling. That's where me and you are kind of seeing this fight a little bit differently. We both agree that on the mat, Robertson is better.
100%.
I think that's where this fight ends up. I think Robertson is going to be able to get sweeps and go for submission attempts, maybe even tap Aldrich out. I like Robertson in this fight. It would either be a submission or a decision. You guys heard me. I'm going to go decision. Tough fight to bet on. Aldrich's game, but I don't think Aldrich is ready for the entire jiu-jitsu game that Robertson brings. And like you said, if Robertson's takedown defense is that bad, then clearly she's not paying enough for it, because she's got tons of wins, with fights that took place primarily on the ground. Tough fight, maybe one you guys kind of be cautious about.
Chill. Yeah. Chill on this. I'm laughing at this comment, bro.
What is that guy smoking? Aldrich is a better pressure striker. Aldrich keeps the car in drive for sure.
Oh, man.
And Aldrich definitely can dictate where that boxing is taking place. I was not extremely impressed with her speed, and I do think there's opportunities there. If she was fighting somebody who can properly counter her, that's maybe not Robertson. I understand Robertson is not a striker, but there are vulnerabilities there I am seeing on the feet with the speed specifically. Right. I'm not saying that Robertson is a phenomenal striker. That is not what you guys heard from me tonight, but I do think she has a speed advantage.
I'm cracking
I'll
up.
just need to stand up fight all day. Maybe she could just use that.
No, but she's got better wrestling though. I mean, technically, it's such a weird fight. But like when you look at stats, you obviously you can't get the full book. But I always like to check the stats right as we get close to fights, especially when I'm torn. It's just so weird to me to see that Robertson has such a high takedown rate per 15 minutes, but she's not stopping takedowns. I'll take it as she accepts takedowns and wants to be there. So if Aldrich shoots, I think it ends up there. We're both picking the same winner. We're chatting this up like we're disagreeing on this one here. Really, we're going deep with this.
And we're both saying, guys, be careful about this one. We're showing you that there's some stuff up for debate here, and I believe that there are better picks on this card to bet on.
Yeah, I would rather sit out on this one. Maybe you play over 2.5. Maybe you stay at home and just chill, watch the fights. I will lean you towards not betting it. Mike ain't touching this line. For me, enjoy the action. Don't bet on these ladies. That's my take. Don't bet on these ladies. Me and Mike, both on the same side. We got Robertson for the win by a decision. We're going to see what happens in this fight. We want to find out who's got the better speed, man. This all we need to know.
I am interested to see this.
This is what I want to find out. I only want to see them throwing punches. This right now, that's all we're looking for here. So we'll find out, and we'll discuss it next week. Let's keep jumping though. We got the featured prelim of the night. This one is pretty good. It's Matthew Semelsberger versus AJ Fletcher.
Let's go,
bro. AJ Fletcher is jacked. He's built like he should be fighting. I mean, honestly, frame-wise, 170, but height-wise, he's a 55er. He's not a tall dude. He's only got a 67-inch reach, man. He's at a huge reach disadvantage here. I'm going to pull up the exact stat of what the reach differential is here, but I'm telling you, man, it's wide. I think it's about an 8-inch reach difference, if I'm not mistaken here. Wow. And Matthew Semelsberger can box, bro. Matthew Semelsberger is pretty good. He's rated 75-inch reach, 67-inch reach, man. Long arms, man. I think AJ Fletcher's cursed with that Cody Garbrandt syndrome, bro, which, granted, turns some fucking massive hooks, right? AJ Fletcher hits hard, bro, and I like the way he stands up with guys. I like his pressure. I've been impressed even with his grappling, too. Semelsberger, more experience at the highest level, and honestly, him going to 3 rounds with Chaos Williams, oh my God, man, Semelsberger can read shots well. He eats a good punch, even though he got beat that fight. I was impressed by it. Granted, his wins, Martin Santos. Does that even count as a win in the UFC? No offense to Martin Santos if he's watching. Maybe he is out there. He seems like a cool guy, but ultimately, he's not necessarily UFC caliber. And of course, he got dispatched in one shot. Semelsberger did him the way he should have. Then you look at the opposite side. You have the fight AJ Fletcher just had. I mean, he looked pretty damn tough on the Contender Series. I like what I saw from him. Hasn't lost a fight as a pro yet. He's here, bro. It's a tricky fight, but I have to go experience. You know, I tend to pick experience over, I guess, hype on the way. So I'm going to go the experienced guy, Semelsberger. What do you like, Mike?
Look, AJ Fletcher is really strong. He loves to wrestle, which he should absolutely use in this fight. The way you were mentioning his hooks, the way he throws that lead hook, he often, or I've seen him in a couple fights doing some research here, miss big, and you cannot miss big against Matt, because Matt's just going to put that right hand right down the pipe, and the straight right hand and the timing that he has with it is perfect. It's a rare thing to see. We saw that one punch knockout over Jason Witt and, of course, Martin Sano. Man, is he fast and very accurate with it. Very accurate. I like that right hand. I think it's going to show up again in this fight. I'm going Semelsberger. I'm going to say knockout. I think he's going to put that two straight down the pipe, use that reach advantage. And also, I think it's just a matter of going straight to the target versus somebody who's trying to load up and loop. If Fletcher wins this fight, I think he does it by closing the distance and using his wrestling. That would be the place where he might have his advantages show up.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think the right hand of Semelsberger is pretty nasty. He also has pretty good low kicks, bro. He'll attack those calves. I think he's going to touch AJ Fletcher up. When you got a huge reach advantage like that, and I don't see Semelsberger as a guy that I'm really concerned about being dominated in the grappling with AJ Fletcher. I think he does his thing striking. I think he's going to put on a pretty quality performance. It's hard for me to pick against the knockout of Semelsberger. Like I think because AJ Fletcher is undefeated, I want to say decision, but I'm not going to fall into the trap here, man. I think I'm going to join you on Semelsberger by KO. I think he might be stopping AJ Fletcher. I think if Fletcher can downsize a bit and get to 55, that's a better weight class for him. It just seems like the reach is going to be a concern, bro, as you move up. I mean, Kamaru Usman, 76-inch reach. These dudes are way longer. I think when you have a 67-inch reach, man, there's flyweights with that reach. Like, that's not long, bro. That's hard to do with these guys that are their jab is going to be there all day. Fletcher, he gets inside well, and he's going to beat a lot of dudes that aren't on that same level when the skill is competitive. Even if he's right here and they're right there, I think that reach carries a lot of guys through over him, man. So I'm going with Semelsberger. I think he'll land that right. Might lay out Fletcher in rounds 2 or 3, I'm kind of thinking, but definitely damn good fight, bro. Definitely.
Yeah, you got to love it, man. I am a big fan of his striking. I like watching him fight. So this will be a fun one to watch for sure. I think, the best way to think about it is striker versus grappler. That's the type of game plans I think they should be following.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we're in store for a fun one too, especially if it gets caught up on the feet. Now, the odds for this one, let's see. Semelsberger is minus 188 best value, but Bet Online has him at minus 205. Fletcher plus 180. Not bad. I like the Semelsberger side, man. I actually have a parlay with him already played, like a real Mystic Mac play, 10 to make 100 something. I think it's like plus 1,300. And I like Semelsberger. I think he's a pretty confident pick for me. Maybe decision, maybe knockout, but the Semelsberger side getting the win by KO. He's about plus 155 best value. I think that he's definitely live for a knockout over AJ Fletcher, especially with that reach advantage. Semelsberger getting good experience at a high level. Very exciting fight. I cannot wait for it. We got agreement, man. We're both on the Semelsberger side here.
That's right. That's right. 100%. I think it's gonna be one of the more fun fights of the night, man. That one could be back and forth. Fletcher could start putting some takedowns on him, getting this thing going back and forth. That could be a fun one. I could definitely say I've been very impressed with Semelsberger. I think he's gonna do it again.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, well, that's a great fight. We got the main card to talk about, so let's jump right into this main card. Main card, this is the money line. I am AJ DeVito. That is Mike Finch, and we're talking UFC Vegas 50. Guys, smash that like button if you haven't subscribed. Make sure to subscribe. Turn the post notifications on. If you really enjoy our content, make sure to share the video as well. We really appreciate everybody who tunes into the show each and every week. We're killing it consistently, bro, and I'm loving it, bro. I believe this is episode 12 of the money line as well. So we've been going for it for a little while now. It feels like it's been more, bro. I feel like this is episode, 200 or something like that, man. We got the flow down.
One day we'll be at episode 200, and it'll be broadcasting live on ESPN or some shit.
Hell yeah, bro.
Keep helping us out, guys. We appreciate it.
Yeah, much love, guys. All right, let's talk this fight. It's Alex Pereira versus Bruno Silva. Mike, I want to give you the mic to let us hear your take. Break this one down.
Striker's delight. I love the matchup. For you guys who don't know, Bruno Silva's had some big knockouts and is a great striker. He actually knocked out Alexander Shlemenko, and if you guys know who that is a very, very impressive victory from him. Bruno Silva's in love with his power. He definitely carries a lot of it. He could definitely finish any man on this planet. And he's good on the ground, although we don't see him take it there all the time. He is, I believe, a black belt in jiu-jitsu. We were talking before the broadcast went live. And yeah, I'm a fan for sure. Unfortunately for him, he's got to fight one of the best kickboxers the UFC's ever seen. Alex Pereira, I'm sure everybody knows, but I'll remind you anyway, knocked out Israel Adesanya in a kickboxing match. And I really think that this is a showcase fight for him. The type of fighter you would mold to beat Alex Pereira is somebody who's going to be very offensive with their grappling. Is that Bruno Silva? I don't think so. I think they're going to strike. I think Pereira is going to get the knockout, and I think this will be a highlight reel type fight. Love the matchup. It's going to be a fun way to kick off the card. I'm going to go with the professional kickboxing champion, the guy who's going to come in here and eventually challenge for that 185 title. I got Alex Pereira with a KO.
Alex Pereira KO. I'm with you 100%, Mike. I feel like Bruno Silva has to try to wrestle. Like, you're going to stand up and try to take this kickboxer's head off. I think you're in serious trouble, man. I really think Pereira has a different level on the feet. I don't think Silva's going to be able to adapt his style in this short period of time to then go mix it up with takedowns. I think people are really getting caught up in the fact that Silva has a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but he is not a wrestler. He has been out-wrestled. You look at his fight when he was losing against Andrew Sanchez. Aldrich really didn't offer much with the grappling. I believe Andreas Michailidis, the last opponent for Alex Pereira, is a more difficult stylistic matchup. Sure, if Bruno Silva lets a hook fly and he lands on your chin, he can knock anyone out. But I don't think Alex Pereira will even be close enough to take that hook. I think he's going to slip it. I think he could block it. I think everything Silva does, Pereira has seen the level, times 5 over in kickboxing. The thing is, when you transition to MMA, some of these guys with kickboxing, it just doesn't work. I think Pereira does work. I really think that he does. I feel like he's got a ton of power. He seems like he's made out of wood, and I really feel like he's figuring out this grappling like pretty well for a guy just starting off. I mean, the fight against Michailidis, even when he was at a disadvantageous position, backed against the cage, do you remember Michailidis' face after the first round? He was beaten to shit, and he was literally on the offense the whole time. Now you got Bruno Silva, who doesn't bring the wrestling chops. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but to me, not carrying enough weight. If he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu versus being a wrestler, big difference. It's MMA. It is not pure jiu-jitsu. Alex Pereira is going to let the hands fly. I think he's going to potentially land some emphatic knockout. Does he get it done with the hands or the legs? I don't know, but I really feel like he finds the chin of Silva in the first 4 minutes. I'm going first round knockout with you. I'm going Alex Pereira, and I think it's highlight reel knockout. I'm telling you, man, I think it's highlight reel.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. Guys, you got to consider Bruno Silva's grappling advantage. If they are on the mat, there should be an astronomical advantage for Bruno Silva. Unfortunately for Silva, every fight starts on the feet and every round starts on the feet. So even if Pereira, does get taken down in this fight, maybe he throws a kick, Bruno Silva catches it, takes him down Muay Thai style, I still think that it's potential that Pereira just loses the round, gets to the next round, and then is able to let his hands and legs go and find that knockout. It's a dangerous fight for both men for sure. Something to also consider that we just didn't touch on is that the mixed martial arts experience of Bruno Silva is significantly more. I mean, the amount of fights that he's had. Let's look at the tape here. 4-1, okay, versus 22-6. All right. Massive. That's 5 fights versus 28 fights in mixed martial arts, right? So we have to take that into account. You have somebody who has a lot of fight experience in kickboxing, but is still pretty young in mixed martial arts. So be careful, but we do agree, knockout Pereira.
Yeah, knockout Pereira all day, baby. Let's go. I'm very confident in this, man. I love the stand-up. And, dude, Bruno Silva against Jordan Wright almost went down. Jordan Wright showed you can find that Bruno Silva chin, you can hurt him. Yeah, he hasn't been knocked out, but when Pereira touches him, he's not getting up. I think this is highlight reel. Pereira is a -170 favorite, so not bad value. Bruno Silva, opposite side, +167 underdog, +165, depending where you're at. As far as props, I think we both like the knockout here, so we have to mention it. Pereira by knockout is -140. So you're really not getting a ton on it. You could round bet it. Pereira +165 round 1, round 2 +500, as I saw noted in the live chat as well. I personally like fight under 1.5 rounds, -170. Maybe if your book allows, you go Pereira parlayed with under 1.5. That could potentially be something nice to get yourself some plus money. But I would just money line Pereira. I'm very confident in him. I think he pulls this one off. I think stylistically, this is a great matchup. Give me knockout Alex Pereira. Mike likes it too. That's doubling my confidence. And I think a lot of people in the chat love it as well.
That's right. Although, let me just ask you this one question. See if you agree with me. In a kickboxing fight, that is more competitive than these two in a grappling match. Would you agree?
Yes.
The biggest difference between these two is how much better Bruno Silva's jiu-jitsu is, how much better he is on the ground. So if he can take it there, you guys will see a mismatch there as well. So be careful. That's why I'm saying be careful. If this thing's on the mat, watch for Bruno Silva to grab his neck and strangle him. And that is something that I think will eventually happen in the UFC. It's a matter of getting the correct, type of matchup and opportunities. And you know what? I think Pereira is going to be able to defend that takedown in this one. I think Pereira is going to let his hands and legs go and get that KO. But be careful, guys, because whenever somebody has holes in their game, you don't want to bet the house.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think bet smart, but I'm still Pereira side all day long. I'm feeling it. I'm excited for it. You can see I'm jumping up with joy. This is such an exciting fight, bro. This main card, I think, might be better than the pay-per-view, bro. The fight nights hit different for me, man. Fight nights always kill it. But let's keep running up. We got more action. If you guys haven't, smash the hell out of that like button and let's talk this next one. It is Drew Dober versus Terrence McKinney. This is such a great fight. Short notice, Terrence McKinney, who just looked like an absolute savage, easily works over for Azamat, is fighting an experienced veteran who hits really hard. I mean, he dropped Brad Riddell, who's a high-level kickboxer, built like a truck. I mean, you see the legs on the man. The calves look like they're about the size of most guys' fucking thighs. I mean, the dude is built like a freight train. But Terrence McKinney is looking like that prospect. There's something special about him. I really feel like his knockout power is something that is special. I think you're gifted that power. Not everybody has that type of knockout power. He also has a wrestling background, and he showed some good jiu-jitsu chops in the last one, out grappling and choking for Azamat. I mean, that was really impressive, dude. I was super excited to see that. I was like, okay, Terrence McKinney really can do it all. Something that I guess I worried about was how will he look, right? I knew he could wrestle, but how's his jiu-jitsu? It looks pretty good for Azamat, not an easy guy to beat, and McKinney made it look pretty easy. I like Terrence McKinney a lot here, Mike. I think that he can pull this off against Drew Dober. What side are you leaning here? Are you thinking that McKinney is overrated? Is Dober going to put this young kid down and humble him?
I don't think McKinney is overrated at all. If anything, he might be a little underrated. But Drew Dober might be not getting enough respect. Drew Dober is such a well-rounded mixed martial artist. I think Drew Dober's jiu-jitsu is better. I think his grappling is better than McKinney's. But McKinney, as far as dealing with a mixed martial arts fight, it's very interesting, because much longer, faster. He's very, very difficult to deal with in that cage, man. McKinney is a big problem. And look, Andy Gonzalez, who gave me a shout-out earlier. Thank you, Andy. You're the man. I originally was thinking Drew Dober. That's what when I first saw it, I thought, okay, I'm going to lean Drew Dober. And something that surprised me in AJ Verify, Drew Dober's the favorite.
Big favorite.
Big favorite, huh?
Fairly big now. I don't
know why I didn't expect that. Terrence McKinney just ran through for Azamat. Just ran through him. Not like it was a competitive fight or something. Just takedown, boom. So that was 2 weeks ago. I mean, he's fresh, bro. He's fresh. He just got that dominant performance. He's going to come in and try to do the exact same thing. I don't think he will. I think it's going to be a great fight. But, Terrence McKinney's a big problem to deal with, man. Looking at at Terrence McKinney. I think his biggest advantage in this one is using that speed, that power, staying on the outside, being nice and mobile. And if he is grappling, it's only boom, takedown, and then ground and pound, try to just disengage from the jiu-jitsu. The more he engages with Drew, I think the more he risks being swept, getting his back taken, getting into bad spots. Drew Dober is a dog. Drew Dober's a problem. I'm a big Drew Dober fan. I would never actually bet money against Drew Dober in this type of a matchup. However, you're telling me Terrence McKinney is a serious dog? Terrence McKinney, guys, we got a betting show here, okay? I like, as far as like picking underdogs, Terrence McKinney is one of my favorite underdogs on this card. The kid's on fire. The kid's confident. He's coming to the UFC and just been dominant, man. He's got that, obviously, that ridiculous finish he had. Matt Frivola, Faraz Ziem finishes him in, how long did that take him? 2 minutes. That's some impressive stuff, man. I'm going to go McKinney. I'm going to think that this one is going to go longer. But, if I had to pick a method, I think McKinney could get it done with strikes, man. I think he could get it done with strikes on the feet, and I think he could get it done if he hurts him on the ground with strikes, elbows, and all that type of stuff. So McKinney with a TKO.
I like it. I'm with you there, bro. I don't know about round. That's really tricky to pick in this one, but I'm going McKinney for the win. As far as the odds, they've definitely shrunk. Right now, it's minus 160 for Dober, McKinney plus 150. Earlier in the week, man, you can find McKinney at plus 200 or more. I think that McKinney gets the finish. Let's say you go McKinney inside distance plus 205. Maybe McKinney knockout, though. That's plus 475 best value. That's big value. Of course, the props, they're going to try to suck you in to play them big, to get that big home run or hitter. But at the end of the day, I'd rather money line it. Maybe you go inside distance for McKinney. I like the dog McKinney. So does Mike. But all respect to Dober, man. He's an experienced veteran. That is not going to be an easy fight. And this is the ultimate test for Terrence. What level is he at? We're going to find out. We are going to find out.
100%. Yeah, this is a good check to see where these two are at, because Drew Dober was looking like a real top prospect coming in. Of course, he loses to Islam Makhachev in an absolute domination and dropped his last fight as well against Brad Riddell. Those are world-class guys. I mean, so, no shame in losing to those two. But, Terrence McKinney's on fire. Momentum is real, and I like that he's a finisher too, so you were reading that knockout prop, and I agree with you, as I always do, go money line. However, if you look, Terrence McKinney generally finishes fights, man. That's how he wins. So if I was going to pick Dober, which I definitely thought I was going to, I was going to pick decision, right? And if you're going to pick McKinney, I'm thinking he puts Dober away. He finds a finish, By the way, something that Islam couldn't do, something that, is very, very difficult to do. But McKinney is a true finisher. That's his style. So, I think, my fault. He did finish him in round 3. My fault. What am I thinking? I remember him just smashing him, though, just holding him down. Not going to be McKinney's type of performance, right? McKinney's a finisher. He's going to go for it.
The Kai Kara-France fight, we want some early leans, man. I got to tell you this. I think that Askarov is just a hellish matchup with the wrestling. So, of course, he's going to be a bigger favorite. And he's Dagestani, Ov at the end of the name. If you're not minus 200 favorite, I don't know what's going on. But let's jump to this next one. It is Khalil Roundtree versus Carl Robertson. Striker's delight, in my opinion. I think more technical is Carl Robertson, but he definitely doesn't have the same explosive power as Roundtree. I really like that Roundtree has adopted that knee stomp. I mean, he ended Modestas Bauskas' career potentially with those stomps. He really did some damage there. Roundtree's hands are really heavy, sometimes overshoots for shots and just keeps looking for the same hooks, and then fighters kind of catch on to the rhythm. I think Robertson is really good strike. I mean, he fought in pro kickboxing. He was over in Glory for a bit. So this is not an easy fight for Roundtree, but you look at this, and I'm not saying MMA math matters, but Khalil Roundtree knocked out Gohan Saki, one of the best kickboxers, right? Ever. And then Gohan, unfortunately, didn't do much in the UFC. It just unfortunately didn't work out. Carl Robertson wasn't that level of kickboxing. So if Roundtree touches the chin, he's putting you unconscious. He's up and down, though. Some fights, Roundtree, you're looking at him and you're like, wow, this guy could challenge for a belt. The other fights, he's getting knocked out quickly. Ion Kutelaba destroys him. Johnny Walker destroys him. Loses fights to guys that I can't even remember the name of one of the guys he lost to, but I got to pull it up now. He lost a bad fight. Was Sergey something. It was one of those guys from the Russian region. Let me find the name. It was Marcin Prachnio. Well, not Sergey. It was Marcin Prachnio ends up beating him on a decision. Close fight. Could have gone either way. Still lost. I'm going to pick Roundtree over Robertson, man, but shit, it's not like a super let's go bet it now, but I think he's got more power. He's the naturally bigger human being, and I feel like that explosiveness and maybe a little knee stomp action gets him the W. What do you think, Mike?
Damn, and they're near even odds too, so I can't even help you guys out by just favoring the underdog. Look, they're damn near. They're very similar, like their skill sets, right, and what they're good at and what they're going to try to do. Very, very similar. What's the difference? Okay, here's the difference. Muay Thai, right? Khalil Roundtree has like that straight up Muay Thai Thailand style where he's like light on the lead foot and actually responds. He looks like a Thai fighter. Looks like he came just straight out of Thailand into mixed martial arts. That's his striking style. So, you said that Carl Robertson is more technical. He's more technical with his version of striking, which is a little smoother. He's got the kickboxing experience. He actually was a pro kickboxer first. So I think he still thinks of himself as a kickboxer when he steps into the cage. But Khalil Roundtree has, good Muay Thai technique. We'll get a little more wild as you pointed out. You guys remember
I want to know
Laba overwhelming him on the ground with ground and pound, as AJ just brought up. So they both kind of have a hole in the ground game. So my question would be, does either of them want to get the takedown? Does either of them believe that they are better at XYZ as far as grappling and clinching and going to the ground? Because how many times have we seen two great strikers get matched up and they want to grapple, right? Or two great wrestlers get matched up and they box. So this could be one of those. Definitely two strikers. Carl Robertson, he's definitely dangerous, but I just think Khalil Roundtree is a little more dangerous, and that's kind of why I'm leaning with Roundtree. It's definitely, a matchup of two guys who are excellent at striking and have holes in their game in other areas. So another one where a lot of outcomes are possible. I'm going to lean Roundtree. I think he's a little more explosive. I like him a little more in this fight. I'll go ahead and pick him via decision.
I like that. Okay. I'm thinking maybe knockout. If it goes
Sure.
distance, that'll be crazy, but it definitely could happen. I mean, it'll just be wild when you got two pretty decent strikers throwing down. But yeah, we might see some grappling. One thing with Roundtree, I feel like he's still finding his style because he was doing that Muay Thai style a lot. And then in his last fight, I feel like he didn't have as much of a light foot on the front. So I think he's still figuring out his game. He's definitely a hybrid Thai style striker at this point. It's like one fight he's fighting looking like he's just coming out of Thailand. The next thing you know, he's back to his old kickboxing ways. So I don't really know what we're going to get from Roundtree, which is a scary bet, right? When you get a guy that kind of hasn't maybe found his absolute flow, but he has a lot of ability. He's definitely a prospect in the light heavyweight division. How many times is he going to get these chances, right, of being that guy potentially? We're going to find out. I am going to go Roundtree, knockout. But if on Saturday night Robertson goes out there and wins a decision, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be, oh man, this is not possible. It's not a guarantee. But I like Roundtree, as do you. And if you look at the odds for Roundtree, it's plus money, plus 115. Outside of a money line bet, though, I feel almost like I'd say I'm not completely sure, because I really think Roundtree could touch the chin and win by knockout. But there's a chance that we go the full three. Maybe both guys are a little bit gun shy, knowing there's danger on each side. Roundtree by decision is plus 495, whereas the knockout side is just plus 210. So that's something to note. Do you like over-unders here, Mike? Over 1.5, minus 145? But I feel like that's scary. Roundtree or Robertson lands one big punch, this fight could be it.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that. If you guys are even thinking about betting on this one, I wouldn't touch it until weigh-ins, because something that we should mention is that Robertson's missed weight multiple times. He had that Marvin Vettori fight rescheduled. Do you guys remember Marvin Vettori screaming at him in the hotel lobby, "Fight me now!" He's gone through some shit making that weight. So just be careful about, how does he look at weigh-in day? I definitely check that before making a bet on this one. And no, I wouldn't do anything but money line, but that's just me. That's common.
I will say this though, it's at 205. This isn't middleweight. They moved up.
Oh, of course.
205. Robertson's moving up. He's moving up because
Good.
the weight
Well, he needed
issues.
to.
He needed to. So he's moving up. So is he going to be undersized now when he fights Roundtree? This is something. No, he has fought before at light heavyweight, but I don't think of Robertson as like an absolute phenom at light heavyweight. He struggled a lot, man. I mean, at one point, Robertson had that hype coming with him, but I don't know. I like Roundtree. We're both on Roundtree, man. Let's get it, bro. Roundtree side. Roundtree
side. Come on, Roundtree. Let's go.
Let's go.
It's a good fight. I think if they strike, it'll be a lot of fun.
Yes, I'm hoping they do. Fingers crossed. Let's keep running. Next fight, it is Sodiq Yusuff versus Alex Caceres. Is the great Joey Diaz would say Alex Cesare. He fucking cracks me up. Right? He's cashed on some bets at Caceres. Oh my god, he's going. Cesare. He bets on him though. He likes him. He likes him as his dog. Unfortunately, I'm not feeling like I want to touch the Caceres line. I was torn though, looking at some footage. I'm like, okay, there's definitely a chance Caceres can squeak this one out, get a decision, but I have a hard time seeing him finish Sodiq Yusuff. I don't see him out wrestling Yusuff here. I think explosiveness favors Yusuff, power favors Usyk, speed, even with the hands, favors Usyk, but movement-wise, Alex Caceres does move very well laterally. He'll stay even a little bit, not too close, but a little bit close to the cage. He'll circle. He'll throw good punches from range. He's a good martial artist. Alex Caceres has come into his own. He's had a long career in the UFC, and if you look, kind of interesting note, right? From the same season, Tough 11, Michael Johnson and him fought on that season. And it's crazy to see Michael Johnson had like a quick rise and then fizzled out, whereas Alex Caceres looked like he was never going to make it in the UFC, but now he's on a roll and he's come into his own later in his career. So it's just weird to note that. I like Caceres a lot. We've talked personally. He was on the show when I had 89 subscribers, so I got to give him some type of respect for that, even though he never came back for the follow-up interview, unfortunately, when we made it. But it is what it is. We won't hold it against him if he wants to send me a message. But right now in this fight, I got to go the Yusuff side. I don't know about him knocking Caceres out. Would I be shocked if he got the knockout? No. But I'm leaning towards that decision Yusuff. What do you think, Mike?
Look, I think one thing to take note of in this fight is that Alex Caceres has leveled up on the ground. He's been competing in grappling. I'm sure everybody remembers Kron Gracie just running through him. And, yes. He's definitely leveled up. So if he can get this fight on the ground, I think he's going to do pretty well. And on the outside, he's much longer. I wonder how the boxing will match up. I'll definitely say this. Sodiq Yusuff should be able to outkickbox him. Sodiq Yusuff's kicks are very strong. Sodiq Yusuff, has a lot of tools, and he should definitely be able to outstrike Caceres. But if Caceres stays mobile, if Caceres tries to counter those kicks with his hands, sometimes Yusuff does like to throw a kick without setting it up properly. Pop, you can come through and land, especially if you're on the outside, bouncing around like Caceres likes to. And guys, really take a look at the improvements that Caceres has made since losing to Kron Gracie. And I really think his grappling's up another level. Will he be able to show it in this fight? I'm not too sure, man. I think Sodiq Yusuff is kind of, been on a roll in the UFC and definitely has shown us that he is the more technical striker of the two. I'll go ahead and take Yusuff. I think Yusuff will hurt Caceres in this fight and won't be able to finish it because he's not as good on the ground. I'll take Yusuff with a decision.
Yeah, I like that, man. We'll both go Yusuff here. As much as I wanted to attack the dog, I don't think it's super likely, man. I think this is a bad matchup for Caceres. As far as the odds, minus 230 for Yusuff, plus 220 for Caceres. I don't love the betting side here. Besides, maybe you play fight goes distance, minus 135, maybe. Or maybe you're like, I want Yusuff wins by decision. That's plus 160. You could money line him or parlay him at minus 230, but it's not fantastic value. Not huge on the Caceres side in this matchup. He's the plus 220 underdog in this fight. I got to go Yusuff, man. I think that it's hard to go against him, bro. It is, especially something you noted, bro, that I wanted to say. Crazy, right? Kron Gracie. Where's he gone? We need him back. What's he doing? He took one loss and he just disappeared. He was still good. I mean, he lost to Cub Swanson. That's not a bad loss to have.
Guys, I'm 5-0 in mixed martial arts. I dipped out too, man. This shit is tough, brother. It is not. Yeah. It's not fun. It looks fun from home, you know, but then you get in that cage and you're like, man, maybe I could just teach jujitsu and, hit the beach, like do I have to do this for my life? So I totally respect anybody who, makes that decision to walk away. The difference between his story is he's in the UFC. He was getting the big checks, so that would definitely be a motivator. With that being said, Kron Gracie, I hope you return. I hope to see Crone back because that's some of the best jiu-jitsu MMA has ever seen.
Yeah, I want to see Crone make another run, man. So totally off note, but it's connected to this weight class. It's connected to Caceres with
That
the quick
fight.
loss to him.
Yep.
Come on, let's bring him back. So if Crone Gracie's listening, my man, we want to see you one more time. We'll send you the love, Crone Gracie. Much love. And we got a question here that Mike, I'm gonna leave it to you. Early predictions: Allen, Hooker, Shore, Valiev, Krylov, Craig. This is super early leans off the top of my head. We're gonna go Allen, we're gonna go Shore, and we're gonna go Krylov. But like, those are not final predictions. There's no film study in that. You just asked me right now off the top of my head. I'm gonna give you that, but who knows, man? We'll see. As
damn, Cole, you might have to drop a tip for these picks. Holy shit, he wants them right off the bat.
Off the bat.
I think Allen makes sense against Hooker. That's a tough one to pick. I do like Shore and Craig. Maybe submission. I really got to dig into those. I don't want to, off the top of my head, that's where I'm going. But let me dig into those before I give you guys official picks. I actually like to show up and be, fresh memory of seeing their last couple fights and really digging in. Don't mess around with Craig on the ground, though. I think that he could potentially get a submission over Krylov. I love those fights. Bellator Mike. That's right.
He's got it on.
Carding some cans, Cody Law style. Yeah, for those of you guys who are checking out the Bellator card, Cody Law is like a 1,000,000-to-1 favorite. And I don't think I've seen odds that wide in a minute. But Cody Law, that guy is a problem.
He's good, bro. Well, let's keep running up. We got more UFC to talk about. It is our co-main event. Marlon Moraes in maybe his last dance against Song Yadong, who is really coming into his own. I mean, lost that fight to Phillips, then bounced back, beats Casey Kenny, knocks out Julio Arce. He hits damn hard. And Marlon, I feel like boxing-wise, I don't know if you'll agree with me, he's slowed down. And it's noticeable for me. I feel like his boxing is not as quick as it used to be. His kicks are still A1. And his offense, he's still able to explode, but not the same. Like, I don't know, man. I've noticed, I was going back watching a couple of them. The Font fight, obviously that was a really bad fight for him. It just didn't go his way. But even Merab Divashvili, up until he hurt Merab's striking with him. And I don't think of Merab as that level of stand-up. And now you tell me he's going to fight Song Yadong, a guy who I have no question about his durability. I think he eats a great punch. He's 24. He's really just coming into his own. He's a beast with his athleticism, super explosive. I don't see Marlon bringing a wrestling threat to this fight. So now you're forced to stand with Yadong. I don't see Marlon getting him out of there. So now we're looking at 3 rounds. Is Marlon going to be able to hold up 3 rounds with a power puncher at this point? And I think Song Yadong's boxing is a good amount better at this point than Marlon's. Like, prime Marlon Moraes looked like potentially the best 35er on the planet when he was over in World Series. Even when he came over to the UFC, he looked damn good. I mean, he knocked out Aljamain Sterling like that quick. And obviously they never ran it back. That was the true boogeyman for the Alex Caceres career. Marlon's downfall has been disappointing and kind of fast, I guess. He looked amazing in the first round with Cejudo, but since that point, he hasn't looked the same. Jose Aldo, controversial decision win, very close fight, but I thought that it could have went the Aldo way, but they gave it to him, so he got to win. Loss quickly against fucking Rob Font 2 fights ago. Merab, the most recent one, and then the most emphatic, Corey Sandhagen, spinning wheel kick, knockout, quick, second round, brutal. It's hard, man. It's hard to pick Marlon coming off 3 finish losses in a row. Lost 4 of his last 5, all by finish, and the 1 win. Most people say they thought it went the other direction, and that was against an Aldo that, to me, was still figuring it out at 135. I think Aldo at 135 now pulverizes Marlon Moraes. I don't think it's competitive. I really don't. I think that Song Yadong is knocking him out too. I think Marlon's time at the top is not here anymore, man. I think Song Yadong by knockout. What are you thinking on this one, Mike?
I think the exact same thing, but I'm going to take a slightly different take on what's going on. I think that the UFC is just giving Moraes the worst matchups, man. It's like a Rafael Dos Anjos type thing where it's like every time this guy comes out, you're just giving him the top of the food chain in their prime, you know, and they did it again here with Song Yadong. Song Yadong's on fire. He's got that counter right hand that is an absolute nuclear warhead. That thing will just put you away. I think Marlon Moraes should really try to target the legs here, especially the lead leg of Song Yadong. Go calf kicks, go kick the quad a little bit, move around inside, outside, just keep targeting that lead leg. I could see that being effective for him because, you know, Yadong is just a little heavy on his feet, and of course likes to throw the big right hand. When you throw a big right hand, got to plant on that left foot, got to plant both your feet, but that's the one he's targeting. So I think Marlon Moraes could eke out a decision here. It is possible. You know, I think that Marlon Moraes is past his prime. I would agree with you. And that's been the major theme of your argument there, is that Marlon Moraes is past his prime and Yadong is maybe not even in it, and or maybe just at the beginning of it. So, you know, with those different trajectories, I'm going to go ahead and take Yadong. I'm going to take Yadong by knockout, specifically with his right hand.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful way to put it. I think the boxing gets it done. If you talked prime Marlon, I'm picking prime Marlon. I mean, prime Marlon Moraes right now, fighting even Piotr Jan, I see him sitting in there competing, maybe even winning. But you look at what we've seen lately, bro, I'm scared. I'm scared for Marlon. They are giving him murderer's row after murder. Like, it's just, it's death's row. I agree. They're not giving him any easy fights. I don't know. Maybe they're sending him towards the door. They're trying to keep him at the top because they know he's really good, but they don't want to squash guys behind him. Marlon Moraes winning this fight, he remains in the top. I think a big fight would be coming. With the loss here, I have a name I want to throw at you. Is Marlon Moraes versus Cody Garbrandt not a very interesting fight? I know they've trained together a bit.
That's the fight that should be made.
That's the one that we could have had right here. We shouldn't have him fighting Song Yadong. Let's do that fight. Two guys coming off losses. I think that's the way to go. Give me the matchmaking job. Call me up. Call me up.
It only makes sense, right? For making this Yadong matchup, you have to think the motivation was like, you know, money or whatever it is. Like, I wonder why to take the Yadong matchup. If you're the manager of Marlon Moraes, right? If you're giving him advice, you know, what does he really, why does this make sense for him? Does he really want to jump right back into the top of the division? Because if he is able to finish or get a win over Yadong, he's right there back on the, you know, back on the top, you know, few. And if you're competing in the top few, you don't really want to be there after 3 losses. So, man, I think I think it would have been better for him to get a W, get another W, then come up and fight Song Yadong. Not right now. It's not the time. Yadong's on fire, and you know, that momentum will probably continue. However, after this fight, should it go down the way we were predicting, please, come on, Mick Maynard, help us out. Marlon Moraes, Cody Garbrandt, take my money.
That's the way to go. Let's send them both. The loser really rides off into the sunset in defeat, but the winner can ride off in victory. I think that's the fight to make. I don't know if they don't want to fight now because they've trained together and whatnot, but I think that's the fight to make. We're both going the Yadong side. Tough for Marlon. I was just pulling up the rankings because, like, I'm trying to see a matchup for Marlon Moraes at this point that makes sense. I mean, he's ranked 10, Frankie Edgar, but they've trained together. This is the biggest issue. Sean O'Malley, who's ranked 12 now. Jesus, I don't think O'Malley's taking that one. Ricky Simone, that's a hard wrestler to deal with. A Sun Sao, he already beat. I mean, I think if you look at the rankings, guys that Marlon beats at this point, I really feel like you're limited to certain names. I mean, Dominic Cruz, I think, can beat Marlon at this point as well, bro. I don't know.
Dominic Cruz hasn't really lost it, you know.
Yeah, he's still got it.
I'd say like 90%. 90% of what he was in his prime, which is pretty damn impressive considering the knee surgeries and everything else.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for this fight, man. Has Yadong, he's been KO'd probably early in his career, but in the UFC, he's looking good. I'm liking Song Yadong. I'm liking him to win. He might get the KO here. I think more than likely he gets the knockout. The value, Song Yadong knockout, plus 115. Yadong minus 230 favorite. Marlon plus 220 dog. Give me the Yadong side. Potential parlay addition. I'm playing one with him as well. It's sad to really be going this strong against Marlon Moraes. I had Song Yadong as a lock of the week on this week's Best MMA Bet show this week. And I mean, I've been a big Marlon believer. I followed him throughout his World Series of fight. Like, I like Marlon a lot. So it's sad to see the downfall, but unfortunately, you're thrown to the lions.
We got to keep it real.
Each time He's not getting it done. Unfortunate. Let's get to the main event. It's a damn great one. It is Thiago Santos versus Magomed Ankalaev. Who will really push through, right? Back to the top for Santos or towards the top for Ankalaev? Biggest fight of his career. It's a great opportunity. And Santos, I don't want to say he's looked bad as of late, but even his win against Johnny Walker now is not looking as good at how easily Jamal Hill put him out. It's like, oh shit, that was 5 rounds of competitive action. And then before that, the Rakic fight, he looked a bit slow. Thiago Santos has not looked the same in a very long time. That John Jones fight was like the last and the best Thiago Santos performance ever, where maybe he could have got a split decision if he would have gotten a little luck from the judges. Super close fight. He gave John Jones a split decision. That is a life feather in the cap for, at one point, Thiago Santos, getting choked out by Eric Wisely in 2 minutes. I remember watching that fight in high school and thinking, damn it, what the fuck happened with Thiago Santos? But look at that. He turned it up at light heavyweight. He's had a great career for himself, and now he's thrown to this Dagestani savage. The light heavyweight needs a Dagestani contender, and it might be Ankalaev. Mike, give us your take on this fight.
Yeah, Santos is a big, powerful man, but 1-4 in his last 5. Is that right? Am I talking out of school here? Let me see. 1-3 in his last 4. 1-3 in his last. Actually, had a knockout over Jan Blachowicz in 2019. That's pretty impressive. But dangerous, for sure. Santos, no matter what, is going to have weapons. You have to be careful with him. Like John Jones was saying when he was in there, he didn't want to go really high risk with Santos because Santos can catch you with something. With that being said, Ankalaev is on a roll, brother. This guy is just full steam ahead towards a title shot. Ankalaev is extremely accurate. If you guys actually look at the accuracy percentages, it's very, very bizarre how well he's landing. He'll find any shot he's looking for. His wrestling, I think, is better. His grappling's going to be better. And on the feet, I think he gets it done too, man. His striking has looked really spectacular. Lots of big wins here. Kutalaba, Nikita Krylov, Volkan Ozdemir. Those are no joke. So I think this is just going to be another notch on the belt for Ankalaev. His first main event. Let's see how he does under the bright lights. I'm going to take Ankalaev with a finish. I think he's going to put Santos away because of how long this fight could potentially go. If you guys got a main event, that's going to be 5 rounds. So who knows what round that goes down in. I'm looking at the losses here. Glover Teixeira, of course, was able to get a rear naked choke, but John Jones went to a split decision with Santos. And of course, Rakic got a decision over Johnny Walker. So, Santos is used to the judges' scorecards in the past couple of years here. Is that where this will go? I don't think so. I don't think he could handle Ankalaev, man. I think Ankalaev is going to find the shot, put him away. Ankalaev, knockout.
I like it. I have to, before I give my breakdown, guys, if you're watching, smash the like button, show us some love. It's the main event and we're breaking it down. Mike with his fantastic takes it always. So just smash that like for us. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. This is the Moneyline. We got shows dropping every week on the MMA Experts channel. So much love to everybody supporting. But yeah, smash the hell out of the likes. And let me say this, Ankalaev by knockout is kind of the play that I'm leaning towards, man. Santos doesn't have that same explosiveness he once had. Ankalaev hits pretty hard. But I have to note, Santos not an easy guy to finish. I really think that Santos can scrap. I mean, he's still, when he's in close range, is dangerous with his hands, but he doesn't move as much as he used to. I mean, he doesn't explode into range. I think I'm really leaning Ankalaev KO for sure. I'm kind of with you there, man. I think he's going to touch that chin and put Santos down. What round are you thinking, though? Because I'm curious to see.
Yeah, it's a good question because not many people are getting Santos out of there early, but I do think the difference here is the accuracy of Ankalaev. When he comes in and he hurts Santos, he's going to be technical about coming in. He doesn't come in throwing crazy haymakers, right? Very, very crisp. Aim and fire, right? Remember Israel Adesanya? Most people, what is it? He says, I aim and fire. Most people pray and shoot or whatever. He's like, I aim and fire. That's exactly what Ankalaev would do. Ankalaev is finding those shots even when he has you hurt, man. I think he's going to get him out of there. Maybe 2, maybe 3. I'd be surprised if this thing went to 4 and 5. It is possible, of course. You guys all remember the Santos-John Jones fight where it's tough. And Harry saying Ankalaev submits him. Dude, it's possible. It's possible. That would actually actually make a lot of sense, because if Ankalaev takes him to the ground, that would be where he has the biggest mismatch probably, is Ankalaev in the top position, Santos on the bottom. I do think Santos is going to try to go for the KO. That's why he's going to get KO'd. I'll go second or third round.
I like it. I'm going to go a little later. I'm going third or fourth. Wouldn't be shocked with full 5 rounds. Ankalaev for the win. I think Santos at this point, man, the knee injuries have really limited his Muay Thai. He doesn't explode into range nearly as good as he used to. If he had the prime ability, I think he could fucking explode. A hook on the chin of Ankalaev hurt him. We've seen Ankalaev stunned a little bit. I believe Uzdemir stunned him in the last one. I don't think Santos has that same ability. I think Santos at this point is towards the tail end, unfortunately. The body's just taking too much damage. Ankalaev, the prospect to watch, odds. Yeah. Best value you can find is minus 350 for Ankalaev, but realistically, it's more around minus 500 or more. He's a huge favorite. Thiago Santos plus 500 as an underdog. Dude, these Dagestanis in every weight class are just huge favorites each and every fight, man. Like, it's kind of crazy to see at this point. Over 2.5 rounds, minus 150. You don't like that though, Mike, because I know you're thinking second or third. Ankalaev to win, potentially inside the distance, is just plus 115. The decision prop for Ankalaev is plus 140. That's okay. I would say if you're betting this one, I personally am thinking maybe over 2.5 at minus 150 might be a touch from me, but I don't love it for sure. I really don't love it. Ankalaev is more of a parlay piece than anything if you're betting him, because you're not going to money line him unless you're throwing, a fuckload of money at him, which is not necessarily smart to do. Thiago Santos touches the chin one time. The fight could still end. Let's not
powerhouse.
Thiago Santos, just for fun, we'll note it. Thiago Santos by knockout is plus 750.
Jeez.
He's
that'd
not
be his
expected.
most likely way to win. I think he's more likely to knock him out than he is to get a decision.
Yeah, 100%.
What do you
100%.
think? Yeah.
I think that's the only way. I think the only way he gets this win is he does it by knockout, and it ain't going to happen.
Boom.
I see win Ankalaev, as does Mike. Guys, much love to you guys. We're not done yet. We got the lock of the night segment coming up. If you guys are enjoying the picks, you enjoy the money line, leave us a like, share the video, subscribe, and as always, also check out my man, it's Mike's channel. I mean, we'll give the full links at the end, but the Mike Finch show, he's got big things popping. He just talked to Mike Winklejohn. The Greg Jackson one's coming out. I know, I heard it. Yeah, so we got a double trouble interview coming from him. You want to keep it locked in, man. And we got to appreciate this guy right here for saying 2 good-looking gentlemen. Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you, bro. It's much appreciated. Yeah, see, I'm the opposite. I got the goatee action coming in. I mixed it up, bro. But let's keep running. We got one more segment left. It is the lock of the night segment. And let's pull this graphic up on screen and let's get into the money line locks of the night. The money line locks of the night segment. Me and Mike are going to give what we think are the locks of the night. Much appreciation to everybody supporting. We got a great amount of people watching live today. This is fantastic. Dude, we're really kicking it off with fire here on the money line. So you guys don't want to miss an episode. Smash the likes, subscribe, as I always say. Much love. And Mike, I will give you the floor first, as I tend to. Let's hear your lock.
Oh, man, tough to do a lock of the night on this one. I've got 2 I really like. I have to pick between them. You guys know me. I'll mention the one that I'm not actually picking for lock of the night first. I like Alex Bahia. I think Alex Bahia is going to get that knockout. However, I'm a little worried about Bruno Silva's jiu-jitsu. So I'm going to pick a bizarre lock of the night here. This is one that AJ almost called. I don't know if I heard him right. You better play it back. He almost called it a bum fight, okay? I just think Kris Moutinho is just made to win this fight. I don't see Guido Cannetti being UFC caliber. I don't think he's going to do anything to Kris. I think Kris is going to win this fight straight money line. I'm going Kris Moutinho as my lock of the night.
Wow, Kris Moutinho lock of the night. Very respectable for you there, Mike. I like it. The value for him, minus 145. Not a bad play. My lock of the night is not as good value as that, but it's Azamat Murzakanov minus 170. I think he's going to beat Tafon Nchukwi, and I think he's going to look damn good doing it, man. I'm so excited for this fight. And we also got to quickly note, much love to Q Money Sniper for the donation. You are the man, bro. That money goes back into the channel, back into the show, the money line. We're blowing it up here in 2022, man. Much appreciation, brother. Much love,
Respect, Q Money. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, you're the man, bro. You're the man. Yeah, I think that Murzakanov is the way I'm going. I like the value as close as it is, man. I got to respect Mike for his Chris Moutinho pick, man. Even if people disagree, I think the Moutinho pick is the one to go to. It's a pick I'm confident as well, man. I think he's going to get it done, bro. I'm loving it, bro. I'm loving it.
Yes, I don't think the kid is ever even going to challenge for a UFC title, but clearly the UFC likes him. They want to give him a matchup that makes sense for him. And look, I think having a little bit of UFC experience he does coming in there, seeing Sugar Sean O'Malley, he sort of saw, what the North Star looks like. You kind of, saw, okay, this is where I want to get to. That's the level I want to get to. As far as Guido goes, I just don't think he's going to be the right caliber, man. I think he's another level below. All respect to those guys. We've been hating on him the all card, but yeah, I'm thinking that that's one of the bigger mismatches and the odds don't reflect it enough.
Yeah, I think so, bro. Looking forward to it. I also want to note, me and Mike both, we like Terrence McKinney as a dog. I'll say he's one of my dogs of the night, one that I'm liking here. I think it's a fun one to potentially play. Hard matchup for sure. This is a card with a lot of competitive action, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what goes down. I got to answer this question here. Eblen lock of the night in Bellator. He should win, but John Salter is no easy task. John Salter is an experienced veteran who has very good wrestling and has fought for the world title. Didn't come up on top, but still dangerous guy. I'm going Eblen for the win. He's my pick. I didn't include him as a lock for the this week's best MMA bets, but I do think he's a confident pick, and I think he gets it done. But be cautious betting him because he's a pretty big favorite.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that fight. Yeah, for sure. Eblen's on fire, man. I think one of the things you could definitely say is that Eblen has just come into a new prime here. He is definitely the guy who has got all the momentum coming into the type of fight. And John Salter, they're a big-time veteran. I think he was fighting in the UFC in like 2010, all right? Yeah, so this guy's been around for a long time, crafty veteran, definitely not the type of guy to bet the house against. But you have to think that Johnny Eblen is on fire in this matchup, and he's got a lot of momentum on his side. And I'll tell you what, he looked in incredible shape when I interviewed him yesterday.
I'm excited for it, bro. We're going to find out. I also like Phil Davis. I don't want to add Mads Burnell as a Bellator lock on my end, but I do think he should win. But Adam Borish can fight. And I'm not ready to just I'm not ready to just say
balls of his feet, guys. That's
oh, dude, he's so light on his feet. Yeah.
Stay away from betting on that.
Yeah, be smart on that one, man. If you're playing Bellator, I got the full Bellator predictions. If you guys need them, check it out on the channel. Make sure to smash the likes there as you do here. Another successful episode of the Money Line with me and my guy, Mike Finch. This is episode 12, man. So we've been at it for a while now, man. We got big shit coming,
I
bro.
like seeing you on Thursday, brother. It's all good.
Same.
I appreciate you guys tuning in every single week.
Hell
you guys have saw that I just dropped Mike Winkeljohn, a half-hour interview with one of the best striking coaches of all time. Guys, check that out on the Mike Finch Show. You guys can check out my YouTube channel. I'm getting them all going across all social medias, but here we are on YouTube, so go ahead and check that out. Half-hour interview, get some popcorn, sit down. We had a lot of fun with it, and shout out to everybody who helped me with that, specifically Billy Barnes. My God, did he do a good job editing that thing. It looks like some HBO shit. So, shout out to Billy making me look good.
Yeah, dude, that shit did look fire, man. And I actually got Mike. His YouTube is linked in the description if you guys want easy access to it. Give him a subscribe, man. There's nothing better than looking at Mike talk to these professionals, He comes on here to give the picks. On his channel, you get to see the Mike Finch Show where he talks to some of the best minds in fighting, some of the best fighters in fighting, and a lot more to come, man. So I'm excited for you, Mike. Keep the great shit coming, my man. And of course,
thank you.
We're killing it right here, man. The interview was amazing, bro. I saw Houdini Beats in the comments when I was there, man. He checked it out already. He knows, man. That was great shit.
Shout out Houdini Beats. I appreciate it. Guys, more on the way. Get on the train now because it is leaving the station.
Much love, Mike. Much love to everybody watching. I hope you guys enjoyed another episode of the Money Line. Be sure to smash the hell out of the like button. Smash it, as Hamzat would say. Subscribe if you're new. And turn the post notifications on it. And don't forget, subscribe to my guy, Mike Finch, as well. Much love, my people. We will be back next week with another episode. We're kicking it here every week at MMA Experts. Keep it locked in right here. We have tons of content dropping tomorrow. Weigh-in recap show. Full card fight companion on Saturday. And we'll catch Bellator at the end. As you guys know, 120 likes for the shoey this week. We're going 120 for the shoey, and we'll do it down. You guys know. Much love, guys. Much love. Let's get it. Let's go. Mike, thank you
Oh
so much for
man, my
being here
stomach.
again.
Every time I see that shoe, my stomach just feels weird, bro. I was about to get DoorDash after this. I think I might just chill after seeing that shoe, brother. Wow. AJ is putting on a full show for you guys. If you missed the show, you fucked up. Make sure to tune in to check it out.
Yeah, tune in, man. Tune in. We'll be killing it on Saturday. Much love, Mike. Much love to the people watching. Smash the likes, baby. And we'll see you all in the next one. Peace, guys.